ball was in. I paint the lines, I know, a little too closely when I play, but like the ball's in by this much, and I have people people watching, all hearing the call and going, "Oh my god!" And you see the facial expressions on the people that are behind seeing it repetitively in this tournament. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil, the pickleball podcast that is not afraid to call out the drama. I'm your co-host, Gina Salento, and this is Neil Friedenberg.
We're not here to talk about the pros or sugarcoat anything. We're here to talk about the chaos, the drama, because that's where really the sport lives.
I'm Gina Salento, and this is my co-host, Neil Friedenberg. Hi, Neil.
Hi.
So we're here to talk about today
Cheaters,
or are they just blind?
cheaters.
So I've experienced some issues with cheating firsthand. I know you have.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, not at your level.
And when do we let it go? When do we address it? How do you address it? And is it intentional or is it just like an oversight? It is a problem. I will not lie. I mean, at my level, I've been robbed of matches from cheating and I didn't know how to handle it. Initially, and it was from someone I really adore. But at the end of the day, it was pretty egregious what happened. It made me smarter. Like I had to learn from that point on. If you're flying and you're spending money on a tournament or you're driving somewhere and you're staying overnight, whatever it is, you're spending the money and taking the time to get somewhere to play a tournament. You don't want to go out being cheated. I mean, it's like, that's not fair, right? So yeah. People are going to do it. And sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's the shadow.
Right.
It's the way the ball landed and they're on it wrong and they don't see it. I've all made bad calls. I've made a ton of bad calls. And I do know, though, that it happens a lot and you got to learn how to address it. And whether it's rec play or tournament play, it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference is maybe with a tournament, you have a ref or
how you
tournament,
deal with
a tournament director involved.
I don't have a ton of rec experience with cheaters, but it has occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how I deal with it, you kind of pick your battles, right? Life's short. Just you're playing pickleball. Typically it's with friends and, again, pick your battles. So if you see a bad call and you're playing against somebody that, just called a shot that was in, but they called it out, you kind of give them
the benefit, right?
You give them the benefit, but you also give them a little double take, just like,
Really?
Really? Yeah. Okay. That was out, right? Okay. Just making sure. All right. That's it. Just a little bit of humor. Just to me, humor is my medicine. Just because you got to smile, you got to laugh. It's pickleball.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And it's rec play. So, give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them a little double take. Okay, and then move on. Pick your battle.
Okay, and if it happens again?
I think I've never dealt with it happening again.
Oh, really?
It's happened with different people.
Yeah, but like in the same game, let's say.
Not in the same game.
What would you do in rec play if it's happening the second time?
I would say, oh, okay, that's twice. I don't know.
And what if it happens the third time?
Oh my gosh.
I'm serious, I've been there.
3 times in a row?
More than that.
Then you say something like, do you have an eye appointment tomorrow? Or something like that.
Yeah, I know. It's true. I know.
It's just different when it's rec play versus tournament.
I know, but there's people that want to win at any cost, and they will cheat even if it's rec play. They just do.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? What if you don't know them? And do you treat them different than if you knew them?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. If you know them, you kind of, give them the benefit of the doubt, just like I said earlier. But if you don't know them, give them just that quick look, and say, okay. I think I deal with it differently.
Yeah, you. Well,
what do you do?
No, rec play, it happens, and it's been where I've seen it become like maybe a couple times, and I'd be like, whatever, and I get mad in the sense like, okay, dude, that was after like the third time, I'm like, that was in, But then I'm like, I'm over it because it's rec play and I know them, and I'll do it with humor. And maybe if the ball lands about 4 feet in, I'll call that ball out just to say my call.
Right.
But what happens?
I think they're smart. They probably get what you're trying to do.
I know, but
sometimes that's enough.
Yeah, but what happens? Like you're with a partner and you're playing doubles, and your partner saw it out and you saw it in. There's like that talk where, hey, do I go against what my partner said?
I have. I've done
Yeah.
that before.
Overruling your partner?
Overruling your partner, especially when you had a better
View of
viewpoint.
it. Yeah.
I've done that, and
That's fair.
it hasn't always been well received from my partner, but we
Yeah.
just move on. It's not
I
something
had a
we get.
partner in rec play that like lost it on me. Like you never overrule your partner. And it's like rec, right?
Yeah.
So that's different than tournament play. And in tournament play, at my level, where I've been in situations where this ball was in, I paint the lines, I know a little too closely when I play, but like the ball's in by this much. And I have people, like people watching, all hearing the call and going, oh my God. And you see the facial expressions on the people that are behind seeing it repetitively in this tournament. This episode is brought to you by Victory Insoles, science backed.
I felt the insole in my shoe was very firm, so when I was moving around, it held its own. You know, it wasn't slipping. It did give me that extra spring to my step. I felt like I could move a little bit faster towards the ball and wasn't behind it like sometimes I am.
Great for players looking for reducing their fatigue and to stay on their feet longer and be able to be faster on recovery from one shot to the next. It's especially helpful for when you're out there for an extra long period of time playing a match to give you that durability and support in your feet to make you go the distance, especially when you're grinding it.
Thank you, Victory.
These balls were being called out. And I didn't know what to do. So when you ask a ref, technically they're just supposed to watch the feet at the kitchen.
Oh
so
my gosh, I got a good
it's
story.
okay. Well, it's annoying because God bless them. You know, I appreciate the refs, but at the same time, they're not seeing some major in balls being called out. And it's getting to the point where now I have people videoing
Mm-hmm.
and it's gotten out of hand where I stopped the match and I said to the ref, like on the third time, I'm like, did you see that? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, I had a choice and I didn't do it and I should have, and I will do it next time it happens, where I'm going to stop the match and I will go get another ref for backup. And if it happens more than that, I will stop the match and get a tournament director over there.
Yeah.
Because
Well, sometimes you have to do that.
I know. I mean, at my level, I guess you would have to do that
Yeah.
because it's like expensive. But at the end of the day, it's like, wow, if you have to cheat to win that badly,
It's sad.
it's sad. And you feel robbed. You know, you're winning, hitting winners and they're being taken away from you.
Right.
So where do you draw the line with how you're going to deal with that and say, nope, nope, nope. You need to defend yourself. I give it 3.
Yeah.
First time I won't say anything the first time. Second time I'll say something, and then the third time I'll go to like the ref, and then after that it's like
Do you lay a smack down?
yeah, that's it.
No fights, no fist fights or anything like that.
So
I don't know. You said you're Italian, so
I know that's fair.
hey.
But I did get in a situation too where the ref didn't know like what I did some serving and I was acing and I was up 7-0 in a tournament on my serve from serving aces. And I get so much momentum, my left foot goes up and she stopped the match and she said, you're doing an illegal serve. And I got in my head that my serve was illegal and I blew the match and I should have won it. And this isn't
Got
about
in your
cheating,
head.
but it's that whole mentality of like in a tournament when you're getting taken something from you that you're doing well, it can get in your head and you can start unraveling.
Oh, it will test your mental toughness for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I caved.
Yeah.
And my serve was legal because I asked another ref. She said, absolutely, that was legal. So I would have won that match.
Do you think it was your opponent's goal to get in your head, even if they knew, okay, it's not illegal, but I'm going to say it is, and they're getting in your head, so you
maybe, but
that's a weak move too, though.
I just know the ref was calling me on it and
Yeah.
she didn't know what she was calling and it was unfair. But it the same thing. If you're being cheated,
Yeah.
you can easily get so upset that you end up tanking the match because you're so upset inside of somebody doing something to you that you didn't deserve. How do you stay focused? You know, and I do give people the benefit of the doubt, especially when you hit the ball, like the way these balls are being hit now, they're so hard. They're coming so fast. And an indicator, if it does hit the line, it does skid.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So
you can always tell.
That to me is an indication that it was in. Or if they missed the next shot, to me it must have been in, right? We always say that.
Use that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I do say that.
That's kind of a way of how it just fixes itself.
But what in rec play, I think where most people are playing, you're gonna find it happening. And you're right. I mean, to get all mental over it, how you handle it is great. I see people getting really upset, and that's not right either.
Take a good deep breath. I've been in rec play, where a ball was out but I made the call kind of late. Wasn't even sure, so I made the call late.
That it was out?
Well, I did actually. You know what? I didn't really make a call.
Oh.
It was just so hesitant.
Yeah.
So anytime I'm hesitant like that,
Just give him the benefit.
that's what I do. I just say, you know what? Take it. You got the point. Again, it's rec play. Move on and just continue
I
to
think
play.
that's great advice.
I don't feel good about myself when I'm making a late call, and I don't think the opponent would like that either.
And it's one point that's going to dictate the relationship going forward.
That's totally right.
You know what I mean?
You're four people playing, not typically play doubles.
Yeah.
You make a late call, no one likes that, including your teammate, your partner.
Yeah. It's funny. We used to kid and say, when in doubt, call it out, but it's actually when in doubt, call it in. You have to call it in if you didn't see it clearly. Because again, it's about building relationships. It's about keeping this game fun. You're going to see these people again, probably.
Yeah.
At some point. And it's like, is it worth it? That one point, is it really worth it?
It's etiquette, really.
Yeah. And I mean, and especially when it's windy and loud, I'm always using my hands. Like this was in, this was out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, a lot of people probably don't even know that. Do you know that? It's from tennis. Like this is in.
Well, I just go like this.
Okay. Safe.
Safe.
And then this is out.
The whole cheater mentality, though. I'm just thinking. I use examples, so I'm thinking of when I was a kid. The biggest Oakland A's fan in the world. Oh my God, Jose Canseco. Jose freaking Canseco.
Yeah, I had his card.
Did you? Number 33. He was my favorite player. Okay, and then he got busted for steroids. Cheated the game. Right? Yeah, and it just, you don't think of Jose Canseco anymore as, oh my gosh, this was the greatest player, home run hitter, 40-40 club, stolen bases, amazing athlete. You think of him as the cheater.
That's horrible, right? It sticks.
That sticks. So that's kind of what I'm saying, don't cheat.
That's good advice.
Be legit, be honest.
When in doubt, call it in. And really talk to your partner. Like if we're conflicting on the call, but you really saw it in, I saw it out, I'm going to go with the person that saw it in. And you might find that, you can play the point over. If you're with people that are gracious because it's rec and they say, oh, it's okay, let's just play the point over. You guys can't decide if it was in or out. Maybe let's just play it over. That's the best case scenario.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen.
I was going to say Jose Canseco today.
No,
that was flash in the past. I just dated myself.
Oh my gosh. But you're going to come up against it. You're going to see it in rec and in tournament play. And there is a little bit of difference. So like rec is a little bit more friendly, relax, let it go. But in tournament play, you have every right to stand up if you feel like it's called hooked. Yeah. If you're being hooked. And, I learned the hard way that next time I have to fight more for myself and then not unravel in my head. And, I could have definitely done a lot better in that tournament. Be vocal in still a kind way. Hey, I'm just saying I'm seeing these balls in, you're seeing them out. So I'm just going to bring up some reinforcement so that it's clear. Right. So I hope that helps. The whole concept is really to keep pickleball fun and be kind and nice and laugh. A lot of this, you're going to see some of this. So how you deal with it is really going to define your character and how you continue to play this awesome game. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again for the next one. If you learned something or you just felt like you were nodding along thinking, yeah, I've been there, then please follow us or share this with someone that might need to hear it. Thanks for spending time with us. See you next time on Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil.